Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching word truthfully and sincerely. Say shalom to you Akim out there. And this was in the news earlier today, in regards to the markets, the stock market of Dow Jones, the stock market in New York. As of earlier today, it had crashed. And this is a news article from CNBC.com News from the Wall Street, published by Samantha Subin and Carmen Ricken, if I pronounced the name right. Updated Friday, December 9th, 2022 at 6:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads for CNBC.com. For in the news of December 9th, 2022, and it reads, the Dow Jones tumbles negative 300 points. Friday posts the worst since September. Stocks finished lower Friday with all the major averages posting losses for the week as worries persisted over a continuing rate hike. The Dow Jones Industrial Average shed negative 305.2 points, or 0.9%, to close at 33,476.46 points, and the S&P 500 tumbled to 0.73% to end at a 3,934.38 points, while the Nasdaq Composite fell 0.7% to finish at 11,462 points. On a weekly basis, the Dow Jones fell 2.77% to the post its worst week since September. The S&P 500 tumbles 3.37%, while the Nasdaq drops 3.99%. Friday's moves came after November's producing price index shows higher than expected wholesale prices, which rose 0.3% last month and 7.4% over the previous year. The core PPI, which includes food and energy, also tops expectations. Optimistic consumer sentimental data advocated some fears, but attention remains laser focused on next week's busiest economic calendar. And attention shifted towards the consumer price index due out Tuesday, which is expected to show whether inflation has receded. The Federal Reserve will likely deliver a 50 base point hike at the end of its December meeting on Wednesday. While the increase will be smaller than the previous 4 hikes, concerning half amount over whether the central bank and agritech a soft landing and prevent a recession. Investors have long hoped for a pivot from the Fed's aggressive tightening stance, but the data fails to support that desire, said Stephanie Lang, Chief Investor Officer at the Bird. It's our expectation that we really need to see inflation come down closer to the federal funds rate for the Federal to pause, and will still have quite a bit of delta between those numbers, she said. There's still a bit of work to be done on the inflation front to really see that as the reality. In other news, shares of Luomon tumbled nearly 13% after the companies gave a weaker than expected fourth quarter outlook. DocSign jumped on stronger results. So as you see, they're gonna potentially have a meeting in December, and I believe data statistics gonna show on Tuesday for economic calendar or something like that. But potentially you might expect it to see the losing streak continues with the stock markets, as it has a downward spiral of the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow Jones. They all tumbled, all crashed today. And they said this was their worst posting since the month of September, which was like 3 months ago, due to the continuing inflations. Even though the inflations kind of eased a little bit, but you still have the consumer spending increasing, uh, the inflation increasing as well too. As we're entering 2023, expect to see more signs of the markets crash, with the still fear of a possible increasing of a recession, what could affect the economy, could affect the markets and stuff like that. So this trend is definitely going to continue. So with that, uh, hope this news was edifying. As we see earlier today, the markets have crashed, and it was the worst week, the worst posting week of markets crashing since the worst week of September. So this trend might continue, of the losing streaks. Times where you're gonna have winning streaks on the Wall Street, on the markets. Then you're gonna have times where it's gonna be a continual increase of the losing streaks in the category of the Dow Jones Industrial 500. I mean the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite as well too. As we continue to see the inflation increasing, the consumer spending, and oil prices, the gas prices as well too, in the times where uh, how the markets react with statistic data, the stocks and markets globally, economically. So that's what sometimes the markets react, or what's going on around the world, globally, or what we're gonna hear from the Federal Reserve. Is it's gonna continue to find ways to ease the inflation as they wait on data reports to see if the inflation is gonna increase or decrease as well too. And that's when the markets react on certain things in that particular, as far as economically and globally. So with that, hopefully this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Makakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Preach the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe. Preach the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird. Preach the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.